Here are the basic stuff you need to make a spud gun. Besides the fuel, first we have our end caps and reducers. Then we have the end cap. We have the sparker, which we'll put together in a second, and the main stuff the main tubes. Those. First step in making connections with all of the end caps and stuff is you have to sand the inside before it's epoxy, which is just glue. Pretty much for this one, you just sand where it's connected. You can sand anything that could get in the way of it. Pretty much that way, when you do epoxy it, it's nice and clean and no air can get through. Connection's a lot smoother. These two pieces are done. This one is tricky because it has two sides you need to sand. Got the inside, which the big barrel will go in. This is a reducer. Go from big to small barrels. Then you have to sand the inside of this too. Just a little trick here. Here we go. So this is a reducer for the bigger piece, which, as you can see, fits a lot better. Same with this side. See? Now that the sanding is completed, we'll have to cut the tubes. What we're going to do with this tube is cut it in half because we only need so much of it.
How much?
About 15 inches. It's a 2-foot piece. You will only need about 15 inches of it, so it's about half. That way we can make two eventually. Now we're measuring it. And that's 15 inches. Right now, we're going to cut it with the table saw. Very loud! It's very rough at the moment, so you gotta smooth everything out. Now that we have the grill sparker, we have to measure the diameter of it using a Vendier caliber to figure out how big of a hole we need to drill in. Just by closing it on top of it, we can see how big we need it to be. Right here, it shows us how big. Okay, so once we have the size, we got the drill bits. So, this, we can figure out how big our drill bits need to be. So, we can start off, this one looks pretty close. That's too big. It's too big. Okay, we found the right one. It is a 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so fits perfectly in there. Now that we have the right drill bit, we can now move to the drill press. For this part, we're going to be using the drill press. I need eyewear because this will get pretty messy since it's PVC. Once it's in position, we'll turn it on. It's not plugged in. Okay. Put it down. Now that we're putting this in, it's kind of a very snug fit. I'm going to pull it out just a little so I can get the wires in. Okay, so okay, now that I have the wires in place, let's push it down a little more. Now this should work. Now it works. Okay, so right now we're gonna use an orbital sander to like put a bevel or angle the edge so we can slide the potato in and cut the edges off so it's a perfect fit. This process will probably take a while, so I'll get back to you. This is the orbital sander. It takes the edge off of it, so when you're putting the potato on it, it just slides and cuts all the edges off. Before that, we have to coat it in PVC cement. We have to do every single part fairly carefully, that way there's no mistakes or anything. Try to get that out here. Okay, so we're going to coat the inner edge of it in the cement. It's also a primer in one, which means you don't have to prime it, you just put it on in. So just slide it in.
Twist.
And set. Hardens fairly quickly, but it takes a long time to actually dry. Probably won't shoot anything today. Now that that's a little bit out of the way,
Just the end cap.
the end cap and these are the two parts you screw off to put more fuel in. We are also going to put epoxy on this too. Put it on this part. So pretty much you just take PVC cement, the sponge and everything. Take it, this, what I put on that part, right?
Put on the inner part of that.
Yeah, so you put it on the inside.
Yeah, tilt it like that. Put it on the inner rim.
Mm-hmm.
And just be very liberal about it. Just get it nice and lived up.
And so, kind of looks like honey, but it smells really bad. Take these two, twist them in. There you go. 2 parts cemented. This will not let any air out with the pressure range when it's within it. And then this would actually be attached to the big tube, and then you just twist them on. Like that. and then you'd fire it. Now, we are going to attach this to this. So pretty much, we're going to take the attach it to the inner ring, because cover as much of it as I can. And then as soon as possible, I'm going to put, let's turn it. Hardens really quickly, so you gotta do it fast. And then we have the main assembly of it. Okay, today we're filming my Spud gun. But first, before I film it, this is how you load it. Okay, first you have to take the Spud and make sure there's no marks around it. So you're gonna take a knife, very carefully, not cutting towards yourself. Get all the extra marks off. We're not peeling the potato, we're just getting extra stuff off. Once we have that off, we can take the potato and try to fit it down the barrel. When it's fitted about right down the barrel, as you can see, there are no lines around it. We'll take it and just push it down. Now, we have to push it down about that far, so if we measure up about that far, we come to about where the handle grip starts. So, we'll take and push the potato down to where the handle grip starts. Now that our ammunition is in, we have to flip the gun back around and open up the back chamber. Inside of the back chamber, there's a cap, there's the chamber, and then probably the most important part other than the potato, there's the sparker. The way the sparker works is when you press this button, electrical current from this button, it's actually grill sparker, goes and it connects that wire with this metal box, and the spark makes our propellant light and create combustion, and the combustion pushes the potato out through expanding gases. Now, the reason why WD-40 works best for this is because it has a lot of carbons which ignite and expand better than most other uses we've tested before. So, you're just going to shake it so it's not too liquefied. Take the cap in one hand, it's the other, and spray for about 5 seconds. And then you quickly cap it. Once the cap is secure enough, we're ready to fire. Okay, before we fire it, we have to know what we're firing at. So here at downrange is a target that can stop the potato. Kind of takes a lot, but this, fired it before, it stops the potato. Try to hit it right square center. So, let's hit it. Now, we're going to fire it. The best way to fire it, one hand here, and the other hand here, with your index finger on the trigger. Now, it's extremely dangerous to point this at someone else. So, if you make one, don't point it at someone else. Or anything living. Alright, so, okay, come up closer. Okay. Firing! And that's how you shoot a potato gun.